Good morning and slightly in the afternoon. Judy Allen here, San Antonio, Texas. And today we're going to use a one sheet wonder to create a purse, right? That we can put gift cards or anything they want to in it because it's a very nice size and very easy to use. In addition to that, we're going to use a one sheet wonder 6x6 to sit there and make a gift card holder. All right. So these are free if you purchase from my store, $35 or more for this month. And then next week, put on your calendar, we're going to be doing lives every day next week, Monday through Saturday, from noon to about 1. And we're going to be doing a craft along using the silly old bear. So you don't want to miss out on that. So with that, let's go down the hands and let me show you about this purse, right? Because everybody wants to know how do I do things and so forth and all. So actually, in this particular case, I was making a prototype, right? So I could sit there and measurements, see how everything was going to look. And I used paper clips and all that instead of gluing it all together. So that's what I started with, right? So I'm going to put that aside because that's what we're going to be making. And this is what I made last week, right? So there you go. So you'll be getting 2 cards, the purse and a gift card holder, plus something else when you sit there and make a purchase from my store, right? Okay, so we did those last week. If you want to see how to do those, then just go get the video from last week and look at it. So this is what we're going to make. And this is the side that I'm going to have on the outside. And this is going to be the inside. And this is 12 by 12. And what I have here is I've scored at 3.5 and 8.5 on this side here. So I've already flipped it. So there's my 3.5. Here's my 8.5. I'm going to show you a little trick. Oops, just moved everything. I didn't mean to. Okay. All right. So that's the 3.5 by 8.5. So what I did is when you do this, we got to do just one cut on each end. So what I did is I flipped it over. So this is going to be the outside of the purse, right? Hello, Christine. It's good to see you. Happy Wednesday. Only a couple more days to the weekend. So what I've done is I've gone and I've cut on the score line here on both ends. I've cut in 1 inch so that we're going to have this flap that's going to come over just like this. I used a highlighter so I could see it when I cut. Keep in mind it's going to be hidden so it doesn't matter, right? Same thing on this end. I cut it in 1 inch. Again, I used a highlighter to mark my score line so I could see what I was doing. So that's what it's going to look when we fold in like this right here. So this is the front and back. So there's your sign. There's the front and back of the purse. All right. So then on this side here, on the outside, you're going to rotate it and you're going to score the lines. Make sure I scored them. I did. So these are scored at, here's my note over here. So the other is just rotated, scored at 4.5 and 7.5. So here's 4.5 here. Put that right there. Something, it's like, I don't know what happened there. Didn't want to do right. All right, and the same thing would go on the other side. So I always like to tell you to fold your paper on your score line so you know what you're working with, right? So this is really nice. So you said that I use the score line. So this is nice. This is not really thin GSP. So you can see that it's not, and it's just really nice, right? So the reason why this is so simple is with the one sheet wonder is you just got, hello, Linda. Yes, you inspired me, Linda, because doing the stuff for Mom yesterday, it was like, okay, well, today I'm just going to have to make a purse. All right, so let me do across here so you can see it. Let me take all my little paper clippy things off so you can see it, what it looks like, because we're fixing to make another cut here. I want to show you. So I'm going to undo it. All right. So you can see where we did our little flaps. We're going to come down right here. And we're just going to cut right here. So you're going to need your paper trimmer for that when you do this. So let me get my paper trimmer, which I don't have my paper trimmer because I let my husband use it. All right, guess what? You know what? When all else fails, scissors will work. Okay. I forgot when I was doing this today, I forgot that he's helping me out. So I'm not going to complain at all. Go old school here. They'll be okay. Use my scissors. When I did mine originally, I actually used my paper trimmer to do this. So we're going to do this right here with scissors. So I'm looking for so if you're not sure, just fold it on the score line, right? So you can see it. Because that was one thing I had to do with a highlighted yellow. Because right as on black on the other side. Yeah, normally I don't do this, right? I would just do it with the die cutter. Not the die cutter, the paper trimmer. So I'm going to sew this in, keep on doing here. We'll get this one done here. So I really like this, right? So I really try to... So this is the Artisan Sketched Garden DSP. And I like it because it's black and white. But I will tell you, right, it's just a matter of finding what combination of... Because I'm going to use some stripes here in a minute, too, of what you like. So I try to find something, right, I want it dark on the outside because I'm going to use some stripes. And then... Okay, so here we go. So the way why this is so easy, because all we're going to do is come in here like this. Can you see it? Where I've just folded the paper in. So I'm just going to come fold it in. So I'm going to put tear and tape on here. I didn't want to use glue. I mean, I could use glue. It doesn't matter. You just need something that's 3D, right? And I'm just going to adhere it to the inside. And so that's why those little yellow marks I made doesn't matter, because it's all going to be hidden when we get through. Now, you saw that when I did my other one, I didn't even adhere anything down. But we're going to adhere this down because this one's going to... This is a finished product, right? So that's really the time-consuming part, really is whatever 3D adhesive you want to hold this down, right? So we know we're going to do it here. So we're going to do this in all these panels, all right? So let's just go ahead and get our tape on here. We're going to do this on all these panels. And then I wanted to add stripes to mine, so you're going to see we do that. So I want you to look a little on the Gucci side. You know what? I like black and white too. To me, black and white is very elegant. My daughter, her favorite color is black. And my son tells her it's the absence of color, right? So yeah, I love black and white. You can do black and white, you can do so many elegant things with it, right? And people tell me they don't know what to do with black and white DSP paper. Well, I'm here to tell you today's the day. You just get that tear and tape out. And this is what you do. So we did, last week I used the polka dotted black and white and some flowers. And we made the arrow point card, which was easy, right? Again, some paper is directional, so that's what you keep an eye out. Both of these papers I've used here on front and back, neither one are directional. So that was good, right? So this tape is, let's see, I want to say it's like 1/4 of an inch. Yeah, it's just 1/4 of an inch. It's just their standard tear and tape. And let's see, did I get this over here? Yeah. I just had this one here left. So yeah, it's the standard one. I actually had some leftover from some paper pumpkin too, so I pulled it out so I could use it up. But yeah, just just 1/4 of an inch. Now see, I used that one up, so we'll go for the next one. So yeah, so everything I'm doing with this, that I'm putting things together, I'm trying to think on the trim though. The trim, when I do the stripe, I hadn't decided if I'm going to do that with tear and tape or if I'm going to just do it with glue. I'll have to think on that one a second, because I didn't think about what else I can put it down with. But I've made these before, right? They're just different purses. They're different shapes, different designs, right? Now this one is going to be, I made one for Margaret Mom with handles on it. I demonstrated that a few weeks ago. And you know, you got about at least 2.5 inches on the inside. In fact, when this purse is finished, it will measure, and I wrote it down, buried it somewhere. I know it's 5 inches, and it's 3.5 inches tall and 5 inches long. All right, so I'm just going to take this right here. I'm going to take this one off first. Just have to make sure to reinforce that, get on there. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. You know, I like black and white. You know, it makes such an elegant gift too, right? Because when you see what we're going to make afterwards and make the gift card holder. I did this for Margaret Mom for her 93rd birthday yesterday. It was so wonderful. Anyway, I did all of hers in Winnie the Pooh. Pooh Bear, a silly old bear. All right, so I'm just going to make sure my corners line up right there. And I'm going to put that down. And that's it. Okay. And I'm going to come do over here the same thing. So this really gives a nice reinforcement to the sides here. If you wanted reinforcement on the bottom, I would most probably just take the chipboard that we have that comes with the packages of DSP or else a paper pumpkin. Because, right, we know it's already at I just told you it's 3.5, so you just need it at 3.5 by 5. And you could put that size of chipboard in the bottom if you wanted. And you can even put DSP on top of it as well, too, right, to match it. So I'm just going to make sure my corners line up good. All right, and then we're ready. So see, with this one having all the flowers like that, it all blends together. All right, so we just keep on rolling, man. Just keep on rolling. A lot of flappy things, but other than that, we're good, right? So really, it just, when you get through, it looks like a box, which it could be, right? You just need something to support the sides and all, because I don't know that I would put anything here as a box, but you could, right? You could. You can do anything you want, right? You're not getting a grade. You get to create your way, the way you want. I'm just here to inspire you, okay? So we're going to do the same thing. We just want to make sure we line up our corners and the score line, right? So there we go there. And this is the last one. So then this is just the base of the actual purse here that we're making, right? Let me open that a little bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and get this flap out of the way here, the side. Again, we're just going to put it down right there. But you can see if I didn't even want to get that other done yet, right now I didn't have to, right? Because it wants to go in there just nicely as is. So that's the one thing I do like about it, right? Is that it's just easy. It's more difficult because I got super short nails to get the tape off. And I think I'm just not going to worry about it at the moment. Okay. All right, so then we're just going to take this right here, and we're going to put it down with some tear and tape, okay? So we're going to open these up and do the same thing. And I'm just going to put tear and tape on the end there. I know you can't see that at the moment because I've got the flap, and it's hard to put tear and tape down with it standing up. Okay. So here's your flap, and we'll take this off, and see, you can see my yellow highlight there, but it's going to be covered because we're going to close this up. I see how it's beginning to look like a box, but a very pretty box, right? All right, let me get it. You don't need the instructions down there at the moment. Okay, and we get this last flap, but you can see the highlight yellow, and it's, again, right, it's going to be buried. So, right, so we're going to take something that looks like a box, and we're going to make it into a purse. But you got to get the foundation, right? Everything needs the foundation. Okay, and that's all we're doing. We've built the foundation, and see how it's going to give it a nice little edge like this. So it looks like a box from this, right? But we're actually going to push it in just like that. All right, I didn't score it, but pretty much down the middle, like that right there. You can come down the edges here, and I just sort of tucked it in with my fingers, just like that. But I just see how that's going to look on the side. And I didn't have to do anything. All I did is use my fingers to tuck it. Okay? All right. So the other thing I have here, and I embossed this. So these are some stuff that we're going to add to it. And you can see it better on here. Whoop. I got some this too. All right. So I actually embossed this with flowers. And I will tell you what I did to make sure. So you have to think about what we're doing. This is going to wrap. So the longer piece, this is a 2 3/4 by 4.5. I had to get it the width I wanted it. And then I just took you have to look at the direction of the flower and what you want. I wanted that huge flower to be right here when the purse closed, okay? So all I did is I just put my paper up here, right? Center the flower the way you want it. Because this is going to be the bottom flap. And so that's why I pushed this all the way to the top, because I wanted this flower, right? So it's just a tip, right? If you want your flower to get the most of the flower when it comes over on the purse, I just embossed it like this and just made sure my flower was like that right there, okay? So I did it in black. And if you want to know what this is new. It just came out. And this is the Floral Spray 3D Embossing Folder, okay? So that's what I'm using. All right, so I did it in black. And so I am going to curve it a little bit. And so what you can use your bone folder. The paper is very giving, right? I just do it gently. I'm not going to get my image done out of it. It's not going to do anything to it. I could have done this first and then embossed it. But you just want it to flex, right? We just paper. Let me show you on this easier here. If you take, these are going to be the handles. All you got to do is take it, right? This paper will curl. I don't need to curl per se, but it loosens up. Use a bone folder, and it just loosens up, right? So that's going to be one of the handles. So that's all we're doing. This is just bigger and broader than that because we just want the curve around right here. So when I close the purse like this, and that's why I used the paper clips when I was doing my first one, my prototype there. I wanted to be able to hold it in place and see how it was going to look, right? Okay, so I'm just going to, I want it to be able to come here, right, and be able to open up and come over here. So all we're going to do is I am going to use tearing tape again. And this way my rose is going to be on the front side. And so we need 3D adhesive, so you can use this, they do have the 3D tape you can roll on, but I use the tearing tape or glue, right, or glue. All right, so I have the paper clips just to hold it there together for me. And so you can see I'm just doing about 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit more back here on the back. I'm gonna make sure it's done. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on the front, right? I'm gonna just put the, I'm not gonna do tearing tape though. I'm going to do Velcro dots. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put them on this side here. And that's gonna be the guide that I'm gonna use. I'm just gonna do 2 in the center, one here, and I'm gonna do one here. And these are, so if you ask, these are 3/8 of an inch, are these right here. Okay, 3/8 of an inch. All right, so now I'm just gonna take the, looks like I got the stuff off of it already. Yeah, I did. Okay, good. All right, so all I'm gonna do right here is I'm gonna take it. And the reason why I'm doing this like right here, because I want it to look like the back, but at the same time that I'm going to sit there and know this is going to open up when I go to put the handles on here. So I had to really think about how I was doing this and how it was going to work, right? I had to work through the mechanism of it all. All right, so it looks about straight there. Okay, so you take this off, and now you can see how it's going to open up as a purse, right? And then you'll be able to put things in here. So look how, in fact, as I say that, look how much room you have. Let me measure this for you. I think it's 3.5. It's right at 3 inches, right? This opens. All right, so there you go. So we're gonna put this back on here. That one did not stick, but that's okay. We'll get to stick now. And I'll get that straight right there. And after to use glue, I'll use glue too. All right, so we're not done, right? This is just this part of it here. Okay, now we have handles. So I'm gonna save the handles to last. I'm gonna go ahead, I cut the stripes. I think I'm just gonna do the front for right now. So the stripes are actually 1/2 inch by 5 inches. All right, and this is in the paper. And then, Linda, I'm sorry, I didn't get to demo this yet for you, but this is the puff up. It's called, I think I brought the folder with me, yeah. So you're using the new mat that they have, and you're doing it with phrases and frames dies. This is the only die set I know they have right now that this does it. So you spritz the paper first, and you die cut it, and you turn around and run it around with this thick mat. It gives it a very, very puffed up look. I don't know if you can see it, but you see it definitely on the white right here. It's really, really puffed up. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to put it right about here is what I wanted to do. Okay, now this one I am going to put down with glue. And then I'm going to turn around. Let's see if I got enough space. See what you think. Because I was going to put this here and this here. It's going to, stripes are going to go across the bottom. So let me get that on there first. And I left a little extra because I wasn't sure if I wanted to trim it most probably, right? I'd rather have a little extra and trim it than not have enough and have to do an opportunity for creativity that I wasn't wanting to do today. Because I have tutorials to do for Stamp Camp, and I have tutorials and things to do for my monthly club, so I really did want any opportunities for creativity, and I want to leave myself enough space to be able to do what I want to do. All right, so I'm just giving it a little, right? Want to make it look real ritzy looking here. Make it look really sharp. So I've got that there, and I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to put some glue, because you can see now, if I put this right here, it's just going to go right like that. But it's puffed, and it gives it that nice look. And then I'm going to put white in the center. So the white in the center, I'm not actually going to glue right now because I haven't decided if I'm going to put bling on it or if, you know, I might even put an initial. I'm not sure yet. Something's going to go on the white in the center, but I can at least show you what it's going to look like, right? It may not be completely finished because I don't know if I'm going to just stamp a sentiment. I haven't decided yet. Or put some flowers, right? I have choices, and I like having choices. If you're like me, I like to have choices. So the white here, so see, we actually cut some flowers up last week, but they're so tall, right? They're really too tall. So, but that's okay. We'll do something else with them. I like the flowers. And then this will fit right here in the middle. Okay, so I've glued that on, and this is going to be put right here in the middle. And like I said, I can do anything I want with that. I haven't decided what I'm going to put on there yet, but at least want you to see the look, right? So, for example, if you really want to see the look what it's going to be, then I would just put a glue dot or something. And glue dots are easy. Just put a glue dot in the center. Or you can use any adhesive as far as that goes, right? Because when I did this, when I created this, I really didn't have necessarily anybody in particular I was going to give it to yet, right? It's yet. So I just use that just to have it placed, right, so you can see it. So it's going to be right there. I can put flowers. I can do anything I want. I can even adjust it a little, okay? So then I'm going to sit there now, put these on. Now, great. I think last week I used the iridescent, which is fine. I'm trying to think pearls. So I was actually thinking pearls for this one, because the pearls I thought would be really nice. It show up really well on these black handles. And then what I just put on the front there, right? I could easily put some pearls there as well too. So I'm just putting 2 strips of tearing tape right here on the ends of the handles. And we'll get that done, and then I'm going to show you that quick and easy 6x6 one sheet wonder to make a treat holder. Bet you what, I bet you will not get my, yep. Okay, there's my fingernail. All right, but you can see how just by using the bone folder, how this paper wants to curl. So I have actually used, as a result, so I'm just putting it about halfway between the part that goes over, and I'm doing the other half right here. So you'll be able to grab the handles, right, if you want to. That's not going to be an issue because we got double sides. Unless you put a lot of weight into the bag, that might be an issue. But other than that, it shouldn't be an issue. Same thing, I'm just eyeballing it. And I put it right here. Oops. Alright. Alright, so see there's one handle right there. And I have to get the pearls and put pearls there. But you can see how it's coming along. You can see how I put it over, and I'm just going to trim it, right? You just clip your paper snips. And do the same thing on the back side. Alright, so we're going to take it and but you always create a mess when I create. But that's what makes it fun, right? Same thing here. We're just going to do the same thing on the handles. And that's up to you. I plan on putting the stripes on the back here because I can, right? You can do whatever you want because it's your creation and you're going to give it to somebody, right? So what I like about this is that, yeah, maybe my cards, it's not long enough to put the cards I made last week in here inside the purse, but I can definitely stick them up, and I think I have enough room. I have to look and see. But I definitely know I've got enough room for gift card holders, right? So yeah, bling, there you go. It needs the bling. Yes, it does. I'm thinking pearls. I don't have the pearls here with me, but that's what I'm thinking, is put some pearls on them. Pearls look nice on that black. And you could, right? You could also put some bling on the different flowers, right? Just spread your few blings throughout the flowers here. That will work too. Put this on here. There we go. All right. And so if you go over with that, just tuck it, right? Just roll your adhesive in like that. That's all you got to do. And I'm just eyeballing it, right? I'm not like getting out and measuring anything. Because whoever I give this to, they're going to just really want to know what I put in the... They're going to be looking at, number one, how I made it. Number two, then they're going to be wanting to know what I put in here, right? So there you go. So, you know what? Let's see what I did on this side. I did. So on that side and this side, it looks like I put it right about the edge of the other black piece that's in the center there. All right, so look at this. Look how that turned out, right? We just need something in the center right up here in the front. Oh, yeah. Pearls are great with black. But I have it right here so this can expand, right? If you want to expand it, you can. It can be as tight as you want it or as much as you want to put in there, right? So there is the bag. Now, let's look. Let me show you a couple of other things that we can add since we got stripes on here. I just showed you how we can relax the paper by using a bone folder. Well, look what else we can do with a bone folder. As that paper curls. Have you ever like just done curly cues, right? And you can just keep on doing it and get it as curly as you want it. And I've done this before on some other things too. On some other purses I've made before. I just sort of like it because I can, right? But you can add them to the side here if you want to, right? Curl it around as much as you want. If you want it curlier, then just use the bone folder to curl it more. Or you can even use an ink pen, right? I've done it all. I've done it all. You know what? I just like to sort of add it around just to scroll it because I can, right? So you can just do it as tight as you want, as curly as you want, and you can even cut it in half, right? So that's a little long, so most I cut that in half, but we can also do the same thing with this, right? It does just as well with cardstock. And I was looking to see if I had a pen, because I want to say that I've even done it with a pen before. Yeah, here's a pen. Right? It's just about just curling it and just having it as tight as you want. I like the bone folder better, though. Just trying to think of anything else I have handy that would work just as well that you would like. Right? We all curl paper for presents and things like that and so forth and all. And this is just like that, right? Just like those clusters. That's right. So you can get it as tight or as loose as you want. It's paper and it's fibers, right? So I can easily take it and wrap it around with this here too. And I can cut them off. Or you can leave them on or whatever I want to do, right? So I'm just going to put it right here. Just to inspire you, right? Because we can. We can do it any way we want. And we can take it, like I said, and tighten it as much as you want. Loosen it as much as you want. And, you know, put some on the end here. I would cut this off a little bit because it's a little long. So you can see how long that is. So this was 11 inches long. So if you want to cut it and make it shorter, just cut it and make it shorter. All right? It's that simple. Go back to again. So I can twirl this I can curl it as much as I want. Looky there. Okay? It's paper. And all I did to make it happen is I just relaxed the paper by putting the bone folder over it. But I can wind this any way I want. All right, let's shorten this one here too. But see how that is? Isn't that cool? And Margaret Mom, if you ask her, she can do that with tissue paper. Yeah, the tissue paper you use in your bags to stuff your bags. Oh yeah, she used strips of that for I'm trying to think, For Fiesta she did that, and she took strips and actually she made some cute little things with it by doing it that way. But see how that it's gonna all just right? Looky there. So see? So it's just a cute way, right, if you want to, that you can accent with even something like this, just some paper. And you can mix it in with the other black that I've already put in there and do as much as you want or as little as you want or none at all, right? So I like doing that, like showing you that for those people that like to sit up there and add that to it and actually blend it together and curl it on down. It looks just like what you get right at the store that way. And you get all the little dangling stuff like that on. You can dangle it all you want, right? So put that aside there. Now let's do the 6x6. So here's our 6x6, and let's see. Yes, I gave you the measurements. All right, so I'm gonna put the bag aside over here. I'll lay it down so you can see it from that angle. All right, so this is a 6x6, and I have scored it. Put that aside there. So I've actually scored it. You can see the scored lines here. So this is, see, I've got a score line here, and I have a score line here. So this is at 5.5. So this is 2 3/4 here. This is 5.5. So those only have 2 score lines. So this is actually going to be my treat holder. You know by the width, right? This, I shouldn't say treat. You could put a treat in here. I actually used mine to put in, like I said earlier, was I sat there and put gift card holders. Now look on the side, see if you want to trim any of it. So it's just a smidgen, right? So all I did, since I wanted the line to be perfectly aligned, I just came and I used my, I just used my paper snips here, and I'm just going to come and I'm just going to trim it off. So this is 6x6 that we're going to make this gift card holder. And then you can decorate it any way you want. So for me, for example, when I did Margaret Mom's for her birthday, I actually decorated them with the different silly old bear, right? Everything from Piglet to Pooh Bear. I put on them, and I put some tags as well too. This one I'm not putting a tag on today. I just want to show you how to make this. And we're going to actually trim it off too. I'm going to show you that as well because it makes it fold easier. I'm going to show you how it works here because it's just easy. You have to think about more how you're going to decorate it than do anything else. So, like I put that black and white on the other one. I could have easily put the black and white on here as well too as a decoration. But see, it just comes over and folds over just like that. All right. So there you can see there, that's going to hold, right, our gift card or anything else you want to put in here. Now, we don't have to do anything else. What we're going to do is we're just going to take it and roll it to give it a nice little finished look on the end, right? So the only thing I did when I created the ones I did yesterday, I had cut this off at an angle. I still wanted that finished look on the ends, but I just sort of did it at an angle here just to get a little bit of the bulk out. All right, and then I'm going to take the tearing tape here. Now, if it's too bulky, now I tried yesterday just to put a little, and it's because I did it for Mom Margaret, 93. I wanted to make it easier for her to get to her gift cards. Just using just a little piece of tearing tape wasn't enough. I really had to come across the top when I did it and do this. So this is for the bottom. And on one of the gift cards I did, I actually sat there and had the roll-up going on the front. Just for a different look, right? I'm not a machine. After I do about 2 of something, I'm ready to move on to something else. Just give it a different look. All right, so look at this here. So I just did this right here. So that could just as easily go in the front as the back, right? It just depends on what you want to do. And then we're going to do the same thing on this. I'm looking to see if I have a gift card. I don't have a gift card, but I have my business card right here that I put the top here. And you can see even business cards that fit in here, right? Now see how this shows a little bit there? So I don't know if I'd want that to show, so I might want to trim it, but so I could leave that on the back, right? So you see how when I sat there and did the bulk like that, it really didn't want to fold over so easy. So what I did when I did the top, because it'll be sealed shut too, I went ahead and trimmed it off the same way. And because I didn't want the bulk, I just trimmed this a little bit, right? I just trimmed it so I didn't have so much bulk. And again, if you wanted one to fold one way and the other to fold the other way, you can, right? Because any way it go, it's going to be tucked under. So if I wanted this one to come forward and the other one go back, I can. But I actually didn't mind where it came forward like this, and this is how it looks when you get through. So on some of mine, see how that is, and you put a tag on front. And as you can see, this goes in here just easily. Don't have a gift card, but the gift card's just a little bit wider. Actually, by the time I got through with the gift card, I actually had about this much space. So I had easily wiggle room. I was able even to, let me put this up there because it's really annoying me at the moment. So I actually had room to sit there and put the, you know how some of them come with like a card base or whatever, cardstock base. And then I just sit there and did that. And it was able to go in there too. So for whatever reason, I've got it just a little off on that edge, and I didn't like that idea. All right, so I finished with this. So let me get you the white one that I did, and you see what I'm talking about, how this looks. So if you wanted to, right? Now, so some of the ones I did yesterday, I actually put some of them this direction. And then others I had like it's going this way. So that's the nice thing about a tag, right? If I have a sentiment I want to stamp in here, I can. Or I can do it sideways. Now in this particular case, I am going to use this in black. Like this here. Alright? And so I'm going to have to sit there and heat emboss this with white. So I have to decide what I want to put there, or I could just put some pearls, right? I don't have to do anything. Some other things I did yesterday is I actually wrapped ribbon. Had the ribbon coming from one end to the other just to give it some extra little touch and everything else. So this one I'm just going to go ahead and glue the white down. And then I'm going to go ahead and just do a little glue dot on the center of the black. So I can do what else I wanted to do in the center there. I have to decide because I hadn't, right? With Margaret Mom, everything I made for her, I had her in mind. I knew I was making it for her. I don't know who I'm making this for because I just wanted to sit there and do the, most probably my daughter since she's the black and white, black is her color, but I don't know what to put in here for her just yet, but it'll be a gift card of some sort, right? Like I said, I'm going to use a glue dot to hold this in place until I decide what I want to put in the middle of this. Thank you, Christine, and thank you for following. I really appreciate you following and giving feedback and everything too. It's always nice to have that. All right? So we're creating. So you can inspire me too. All right, and it's just going to go right there. All right? So I can do whatever I want to do with this right here. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this. This is what we created today, right? And it's to go right in here. And I did it deliberately so they would match together, right? I can do anything else I wanted, even if I wanted to put a strip around. So here's some other things, right, you could do. This one isn't because that's too much for me. So neither of these would work for me, right? But some ribbon would work just fine. Definitely going to put something right here. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to think what I'm going to give my daughter to do this. But I like the fact that I've got a purse. It's one sheet wonder. And I've got a gift card holder that's a one sheet wonder as well. 6 by 6, 12 by 12. So those are just easy. And then here's what we did the week before. This here. And we did this one here as well. Just all quick and easy things that you can do with black and white paper. All right? So I hope you enjoyed that, right? It's all about creating, sharing, and giving, right? And making someone's day by giving them a surprise gift. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'll do it today or not for my daughter, but I'm leaning toward her on black and white, right? So anyway, yeah, that's who I'm thinking of as my daughter. In case she doesn't look, she won't know what it is anyway, right? I'm not going to tell her. But it's all about creating, sharing, and giving. So with that, I thank you for following us not only here, but also on Instagram and YouTube. With that, have an amazing weekend, right? It's a 3-day holiday weekend with Memorial Day on Monday. But stay tuned on Monday because at noon, we'll go live with the craft along that ties into the stamp camp. All right, it's free and we'll be giving away door prizes. So you want to make sure you are a follower of ours on YouTube. And also you make sure to make comments because that's where we pick up the names and everything to put in the drawing for the door prizes. So we'll have one most probably each day, and then we'll finish up on Saturday with a bundle that will be given away. And so it doesn't matter if you won one day, you can still win the bundle on the Sunday from the drawing. All right, with that, be blessed, have an amazing weekend, and look forward to seeing you on Monday. Bye.